You're waking up feeling tired again, even though you got a full night's sleep. Maybe your legs feel heavier than usual, or your mind is cloudy. You brush it off. Maybe it's just age, right? But what if it's not? What if your body has been trying to send you a message and you just didn't know how to listen? As someone who's spent over 20 years working with older adults just like you, I can tell you this isn't just about getting older. This is about something your body is missing, something diabetes quietly takes from you. And it starts with fatigue, not just being sleepy, but that deep dragging tiredness that doesn't go away with rest. You know the kind I'm talking about. You sit down to read and the words blur together. You want to go for a walk, but your legs feel like sandbags. It's not in your head, it's in your cells, and there's a silent thief at work, your blood sugar. What most people don't realize is that diabetes doesn't just raise your blood sugar, it changes the way your body uses energy. It affects your kidneys, your nerves, and your muscles, and it starts draining away key nutrients before you even notice. One of the first things to go, magnesium. This mineral is critical. It's like the quiet power behind your muscles, nerves, heart rhythm, and even your mood. And for those of us over 60, living with diabetes, magnesium doesn't stick around. Why? Because when your blood sugar rises, your kidneys go into overdrive, trying to flush out the excess. But they don't just get rid of sugar, they also flush out magnesium, so you could be eating well and still be running on empty. When magnesium is low, your body can't process insulin effectively, your muscles cramp, you feel weaker, you may even notice tingling or numbness in your feet or hands. And worst of all, you're more likely to feel anxious, restless, or deeply fatigued, even if everything looks fine on the outside. But here's where you can start to take control, with food. Spinach is one of your best allies. Half a cup of cooked spinach delivers around 20% of your daily magnesium needs. Add a handful of pumpkin seeds to your breakfast or snack, and you're getting a whopping 37% in just 1 ounce. Black beans. They don't just give you fiber and protein, they deliver 30% of your daily magnesium needs in just 1 cup. And these aren't just healthy choices, they're powerful medicine. The kind that comes from nature, not a pill bottle. Imagine this, a warm black bean bowl with sautéed spinach, a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds, a touch of olive oil, and a little lemon juice. That's not just a meal, that's your internal battery charger. It's quiet, it's gentle, but it works. Now you might be thinking, Dr. Anwar, I eat healthy already, and you probably do. But remember this, having diabetes changes the rules. What worked at 40 doesn't always work at 60 or 70. Your body needs more, not just food, but the right food, and it needs to hold on to nutrients longer, especially when diabetes tries to steal them away. If you've been feeling tired, foggy, or weak, this might be your missing link. And here's the other thing. Most standard diets don't give you enough magnesium, especially if you're avoiding certain foods due to sodium, potassium, or sugar content. That's why diabetics over 60 are often quietly deficient without ever realizing it. You can't see low magnesium, but your body feels it every single day. So the next time you feel that muscle twitch, that ache in your legs, that wave of exhaustion for no reason, don't just shrug it off. Think about what your body might be missing, and ask yourself, when was the last time I gave it what it really needed? Because magnesium isn't just about avoiding fatigue. It helps regulate your heart rhythm. It supports your nervous system. It keeps your blood vessels relaxed, reducing your risk of hypertension. And yes, it plays a vital role in blood sugar control too. That's the power of just one food-based nutrient. And there are 2 more, just as important, that most diabetics your age are missing every single day. But this is just the beginning. You might have thought fatigue was just part of aging. But now you know better. It's often your body crying out for what it's missing. And magnesium is only the first. Let's talk about something else. Diabetes takes from you without warning. Vitamin B12. Yes, this one is big, especially for people over 60. If you felt tingling in your hands or feet, if you've struggled with focus, or even noticed your memory slipping, B12 may be at the heart of it, and diabetes, especially type 2, makes the situation worse. Here's the issue. Many of the medications commonly prescribed for diabetes, especially metformin, interfere with B12 absorption. You might be taking the right pills, watching your diet, doing everything by the book, and still slowly slipping into a deficiency you can't see until the damage is done. A B12 is essential for your nervous system. It helps make red blood cells, supports brain function, and protects your nerves. When you're low on it, your legs might feel heavy, you might notice balance issues, you might feel confused or easily agitated. And it's easy to mistake these signs for aging or stress, but they're not just random, they're your body waving a red flag. The good news, you can get B12 through food, and when you do, you'll feel the difference. Eggs are an easy start. One large egg provides about 20% of your daily B12 needs. Add a slice of wild-caught salmon to your lunch or dinner, and you're giving your body over 200% of the daily requirement in just 3 ounces. Even plain Greek yogurt, a staple in many diabetic diets, gives you around 25% per cup, and these aren't exotic ingredients. They're simple, safe, and delicious. A plate of scrambled eggs with spinach in the morning, a bowl of Greek yogurt with chia seeds in the afternoon, or baked salmon with steamed broccoli in the evening. These meals aren't just tasty, they're building your nervous system back from the inside out. B12 also plays a quiet role in preventing depression and mood swings. Many older diabetics report feeling low or emotionally flat, and while life's stressors are real, there's also biology at work. When B12 levels fall, serotonin production drops. That's the brain chemical that helps you feel steady, content, and motivated. So if you've been feeling off, if your energy dips fast, if your balance isn't what it used to be, don't ignore it. These are real symptoms, and they may trace back to something as simple and as powerful as a vitamin your body is struggling to hold on to. I've seen patients who thought they were developing neuropathy, only to find out it was a B12 deficiency making things worse. And once we corrected it with food, and if needed a gentle supplement, their symptoms eased, their confidence returned, even their walking improved. Now here's something most people don't realize. As you get older, your stomach produces less acid. That acid is needed to absorb B12 from food. So it's not just about eating the right foods, it's about eating enough consistently and checking in with your doctor if symptoms persist. Let me give you 4 excellent food sources of B12 that are diabetic friendly. Wild-caught salmon 3 ounces, over 200% daily value. Plain Greek yogurt 1 cup, about 25% daily value. Eggs 1 large, around 20% daily value. Fortified nutritional yeast 1 tablespoon, nearly 100% daily value. You don't need to eat all of them every day, just include 1 or 2 regularly. Pair them with your magnesium-rich foods from earlier, and you're already rebuilding 2 of the most important systems. Diabetes tends to weaken your muscles and your nerves. Now I want to ask you something important. Have you noticed tingling, fatigue, balance issues, or emotional dips lately? If so, leave a comment below. Sometimes just one person sharing what they're going through can help someone else realize they're not alone. Because when you're living with type 2 diabetes after 60, every little symptom matters. And when you know what to look for and what to eat, your body starts working with you again. But we're not done yet. The next nutrient I'll reveal is often overlooked. And when it's missing, it creates a cycle that keeps you sick, no matter how hard you try to stay on track. Are you ready for that truth? It's coming next. You've made it this far, and you already know more than most diabetics ever hear from their doctors. Fatigue, tingling, slow recovery, those aren't just normal aging problems. They're real signs of deficiency. And here's where things get even more important. Because there's a pattern I've seen again and again in my patients. Even when they eat well, take their medications, and stay active, they still can't get their blood sugar under control. And the reason? A missing nutrient that controls how your body responds to insulin. That nutrient is chromium. It's not a flashy mineral. You don't hear about it much. But if you're over 60 and living with type 2 diabetes, it may be the key that's been missing all along. Here's what happens. When you eat, your body breaks down food into glucose, sugar, and sends it into your bloodstream. That's normal. But it's insulin's job to move that sugar into your cells where it can be used for energy. Chromium makes insulin work more effectively. Without enough chromium, insulin becomes sluggish. Your blood sugar stays high, and your cells stay starved. Now think about that. Your body could be full of sugar and still feel tired, weak, and foggy. That's the diabetes trap. And it becomes worse when you're low on chromium. Chromium isn't made by your body, you can only get it through food, and here's where things get tricky. High blood sugar levels actually increase chromium loss through urine. So the more out of balance your sugar is, the more you lose the very mineral that helps fix the problem. That's the vicious cycle. High sugar leads to chromium loss, which makes insulin less effective, which leads to more high sugar, and around it goes. You're not stuck because you're lazy or careless. You've just been undernourished. Quietly, consistently, without warning. But here's the good part. You can stop this cycle. You can start feeding your cells what they need. And it starts with 3 meals that feel like comfort food, but are packed with diabetic power. Meal 1, roasted broccoli and garlic over quinoa. Broccoli is one of the best food sources of chromium. Just 1/2 cup gives you up to 11% of your daily need. Quinoa adds fiber and protein without spiking sugar. Meal 2, grilled turkey breast with sautéed green beans and a small sweet potato. Turkey is rich in chromium, and green beans support insulin sensitivity. Just 1 cup of green beans gives you another 10%. Meal 3, a warm bowl of oatmeal topped with sliced apples and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Not only is this comforting, but oats support blood sugar stability. Apples offer a gentle sweetness with fiber, and cinnamon may help with insulin response too. Let me give you some numbers. Here's the chromium content you can expect from just a few key foods. Broccoli 1/2 cup up to 11% of daily value. Green beans 1 cup around 10%. Turkey breast 3 ounces approximately 7–10%. Whole oats 1 cup cooked around 5%. Now these numbers may seem small, but when you combine them across your meals and make them a habit, your body begins to shift, your insulin becomes more efficient, your energy improves, and your blood sugar starts to come down, not just through force but through support. That's the goal here, not to force your body, but to support it, because you've been told for years to cut things out, cut sugar, cut carbs, cut portions. And while that has its place, it's not the full picture. You also need to add back in what diabetes has taken away. You are not broken. Your body hasn't failed you. It's just been running on half power for too long. When you give it magnesium, B12, and chromium through food every single day, you're not just managing diabetes, you're actively healing your internal systems. And here's something else to consider. You can't always feel when things are getting worse. That's the scariest part. Neuropathy, kidney stress, even silent strokes, these can all start long before symptoms appear. So don't wait for a major health scare to take this seriously. Don't wait for that hospital visit to tell you what you could have done differently. You're already making changes right now, just by watching this. But the real danger? You can't always feel it coming. And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. You've probably heard the phrase, if it doesn't hurt, it must be fine. But with diabetes, that couldn't be further from the truth. Some of the worst damage it causes, you don't feel until it's already too late. You see, diabetes doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, quietly breaking down your nerves, damaging your kidneys, clouding your vision, weakening your heart, all while you feel mostly okay. And for older adults, that's especially dangerous, because the signs are easy to miss, and the consequences, they're fast. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a health scare that felt like it came out of nowhere? Maybe a sudden spike in your blood pressure. Maybe your vision got blurry overnight, or you ended up in the hospital after something that seemed small. That's how diabetes works. Silent, slow, and then all at once. But here's the truth you need to hear. A lot of that damage can be slowed down, or even prevented, when you give your body the right tools. And the foods we've talked about so far, they're not just for symptoms, they're for protection. Let's walk through this together. Magnesium helps protect your heart rhythm and keeps your blood vessels relaxed, which reduces the risk of high blood pressure and strokes. If you've ever woken up with tightness in your chest or felt lightheaded after standing, low magnesium may have been part of that picture. Bullet 12 isn't just for nerve health, it's for brain health. Deficiencies have been linked to cognitive decline, even dementia, If you've had moments of forgetfulness or confusion lately, it's worth asking, is your brain getting what it needs? Chromium. It supports insulin efficiency. When that's working, sugar doesn't build up in your bloodstream, causing long-term nerve and vessel damage. That means fewer risks of ulcers, fewer kidney scares, and less pressure on your heart. But here's where it becomes personal. I've seen patients who were doing everything right, eating clean, walking daily, taking medications, and still, their neuropathy got worse, or their kidney function dropped. And when we looked deeper, it wasn't about what they weren't doing, it was about what they weren't getting. Because the silent damage of diabetes doesn't come from one big mistake. It builds slowly, from tiny gaps in nutrition, from stress, from loss of protective nutrients. And if you've ever had that moment where the doctor says, "We caught it just in time," you know exactly how real that risk is. So what does protection look like? It looks like adding just 1/2 cup of cooked spinach to your lunch. That alone can give you 20% of your magnesium. It looks like starting your morning with eggs and sautéed vegetables. That's B12, magnesium, and fiber in one plate. It looks like adding roasted broccoli and a turkey slice to your dinner, giving your body the chromium it quietly needs. These aren't radical changes. You're not flipping your diet upside down. You're just giving your body the chance to fight back, meal by meal. Because by the time symptoms appear, like numbness in your feet, cloudy vision, or a drop in kidney function, the damage is already happening. But when you eat with intention, you shift the balance. You start repairing what's been worn down. You give your nerves, your eyes, your heart, your kidneys a little more time, a little more strength, a little more protection. And that's everything. I want you to think back for a moment. Have you felt any of these signs? Slower healing after cuts or bruises, numbness or tingling that comes and goes, a little more forgetfulness than usual, changes in your vision that aren't explained by glasses, pain in your feet when you walk, even short distances. If you've nodded yes to even one of those, you are not alone. And more importantly, it's not too late. These foods aren't just support, they're your defense system. They're your daily shield. So I'll ask you something important, something that may help someone else watching this video. Which warning sign have you felt the most? Leave a comment below. Your story could wake someone up before it's too late. Because what you're feeling now, it matters. What you do next, it matters more. But before we move forward, there's one more piece we need to cover. The part that trips people up again and again. Because even with the right foods, some habits quietly steal away your progress. That's what we'll talk about next. You've done everything right so far. You're learning, adjusting, paying attention to your body, and that alone puts you ahead of the curve. But let's be honest, even the best foods can't work if something else is quietly canceling out their power. And that's what we need to talk about now. There are habits, daily, innocent-looking habits, that quietly drain the very nutrients your body is trying to hold on to. You don't see them coming. You don't always feel their impact right away. But over time, they rob your energy, spike your sugar, and keep your body stuck in the same unhealthy loop. Let me give you an example. Let's say you start your day with toast and jam, maybe some fruit juice. It feels light and healthy, right? But what actually happens is a sharp rise in blood sugar, followed by a crash. That crash makes your body crave more carbs. So maybe by late morning, you're reaching for crackers or a cookie. That second spike puts stress on your pancreas. It increases the magnesium your body flushes out. It triggers a deeper drop in chromium, and suddenly, even if you had a healthy lunch, your body's already behind. Another habit, overusing calcium supplements. Now, calcium is important, no doubt, but too much calcium, especially from supplements, can interfere with magnesium absorption. And if your balance between the two is off, your muscles and nerves feel it. Achy legs, twitching muscles, even irregular heartbeats, they can be a sign your body's overloaded in one area and starving in another. Then there's alcohol. Even a small glass in the evening can interfere with B12 levels and worsen insulin sensitivity. And for diabetics over 60, alcohol doesn't move through the system like it used to. It lingers. It drains. It disrupts sleep and blood sugar, often without you realizing the connection. And of course, sugar itself. It hides in sauces, dressings, healthy granola bars, flavored yogurt, and every time it sneaks in, it pulls more magnesium and chromium out with it. But before you feel overwhelmed, here's the good news. You don't need to give up everything. You just need to swap a few key things, with intention. Instead of white bread or sugary cereal in the morning, try oatmeal topped with chia seeds and a few berries. It gives you fiber, magnesium, and a gentle sugar curve. Instead of flavored yogurt, go with plain Greek yogurt and add your own cinnamon or a teaspoon of honey if needed. You're cutting sugar while boosting B12. Instead of heavy calcium supplements, get your calcium from food, like leafy greens, tofu, or sardines, and always balance it with magnesium-rich options like pumpkin seeds or black beans. Instead of alcohol at night, try chamomile tea or warm cinnamon water. Both help relax your system and support blood sugar overnight. These are small, manageable changes, but they're rooted in real biology. You're not guessing, you're replacing what was draining you with what can heal you. And if you're feeling discouraged about past choices, let me say this clearly. You weren't doing it wrong. You were missing the why. You weren't failing. You were uninformed. And now that you know, you're already winning. Because every choice from here on out is an opportunity to support your body, not stress it. You've spent years being told what not to eat. Now, for once, you get to focus on what to add in, what gives back, what rebuilds. So if you're still watching this, I want to acknowledge something. You're already taking control. Most people stop halfway. Most people brush off these signs, but not you. You're the kind of person who wants to understand, to protect yourself, to live not just longer, but stronger, and I want to honor that. Because all of this, the nutrient rebuilding, the blood sugar support, the prevention of silent damage, it all comes together when you know exactly what to do each day. That's what I'll walk you through next. Your daily fix, simple, safe, and proven. You've come a long way. You've listened, you've reflected, and now it's time to bring everything together, not as theory, but as action. Because knowing is good, but doing, that's where the power lives. If you're over 60 and living with type 2 diabetes, your body isn't just asking for fewer carbs or more exercise. It's asking for support at the cellular level. It's asking for protection, for nourishment, for balance. Let's make it simple. Here's your daily fix, built on 3 proven, food-based nutrients your body quietly needs. Start your morning with something comforting and strong. 1 cup of cooked oatmeal, topped with a tablespoon of chia seeds and sliced apple. This gives you fiber to slow sugar spikes, chromium to support insulin, and magnesium for smooth muscle and nerve function. Want to go even further? Sprinkle in a pinch of cinnamon. It's more than flavor, it supports sugar control naturally. Later in the day, bring in protein and B12. Have 2 boiled or scrambled eggs with sautéed spinach. That's B12, magnesium, and iron in 1 simple plate. Or opt for Greek yogurt with some ground flaxseed and a few walnuts. Delicious, rich in healthy fats, and steadying to blood sugar. For dinner, keep it gentle but powerful. A small grilled portion of turkey or wild-caught salmon with a side of steamed broccoli and a half-sweet potato. Turkey and salmon give you the chromium and B12. Broccoli adds more chromium and fiber. Sweet potato keeps things stable without spiking your levels. Now here's your simple checklist, the one you can return to every single day. Eat 3 magnesium-rich foods, like spinach, black beans, or pumpkin seeds. Include at least 1 B12-rich food, like eggs, yogurt, or salmon. Add 1 chromium-rich source, like broccoli, turkey, or oats. Optional supplement, a low-dose B12, if you're on metformin or over 65. Discuss with your doctor. Avoid 1 major nutrient-draining habit, like sugary snacks, excessive calcium supplements, or alcohol. That's it. Not overwhelming, not complicated, but incredibly powerful. And I want to say something else. Something I wish more people your age heard. You're not a patient. You're a person. A whole person. You've carried a lot. You've made it through tough diagnoses, confusing advice, moments of fear, maybe even shame about your health. But here you are, learning how to care for yourself in a way that makes sense, feels right, and finally works with your body, not against it, because your age is not a barrier. It's a signal, a reminder that every day matters, every bite matters, and every small change adds up, not just in numbers on a chart, but in how you feel walking across the room. How steady your hands are when you tie your shoes. How clear your mind is when you talk to your grandchild. That's what we're protecting. So if this helped you, if something clicked, or you saw your own symptoms in these words, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it, and leave a comment below. Someone your age may need this more than you know. Because the truth is, you don't need to overhaul your life to reclaim your strength. You just need to understand what your body's been asking for all along. And now, you do.